Jennie Raymond here. I've been playing around with Quickscreen Triangle and come up with a rather nice pineapple style mat. You could make this any size you like. You could make it bigger, you could make it smaller, but you will need some Quickscreen Triangle to begin with. I've cut an 11-inch strip of the Quickscreen Triangle, working down the metre that I bought. To get a hexagon easily, if you now fold this in half, don't worry about the selvage, just line up the lines. There we are. Look at the diagonal lines. I'm going to work on the one that's here because it goes right from the edge of the fabric to the fold. Cut up there. I mean, if you've got a hexagon template, you can put it on, just cut round the hexagon template. You're cutting up there. Now, to get an accurate hexagon, if you then fold it on this line, fold it over, that's going to give you the next line from which to cut from. Now, don't cut up there, but you're going to cut that line up there. Can you see? So you've actually got 3 60-degree triangles. So fold it over. Where this touches the edge of the Quickscreen, that's the line you're going to cut up. And don't cut that one because it's not a hexagon, I promise you. And now we should have a beautiful hexagon. If you've still got the selvage on there, then just remove the selvage. You can either cut it off with a pair of scissors or with the rotary cutter. Once you've got to that stage, you're going to need a hexagon for the middle. So back to the little pieces of fabric you've cut off. And you need to cut a strip that is 1, 2, 3, 4 lines up. Pick up there. I'm just going to cut it up there because I need a little bit of it. And we're going to use the same trick. We're going to fold it in half. Cut up one of the lines. I can use that line there. Notice I've just got 2 spaces, count 2 along and cut up there. And with luck, you should have a perfect hexagon. Those of you who do hexagon triangles, paper piecing, you could actually cut your hexagons out of the Quickscreen and use them that way up as a backing fabric. Have you considered that? Anyway, having got my little hexagon there, I'm going to use that as a template and cut a piece of fabric out exactly the same size as that. That is going to go in the middle of my larger hexagon. It's going to go right in the very centre, comme ça, with the right side up. Now, this fabric is quite light and you may well see the lines showing through, so I'm going to turn the Quickscreen over and work this side up. Then I won't get any shadowing of the lines showing through. In addition to having a centre hexagon, I'm going to want 2 colours, because if I go across there and get the mat, got the 2 colours. You could have, of course, used any colours you liked. I'm going to have a length of yellow cut at 1 1/4 and a length of the turquoise also cut at 1 1/4. When you've cut your strips, when you've prepared your background, now it's time to sew. Okay, we've got the hexagon now pinned to the centre of our Quickscreen triangle, and I'm working on this side so I won't get any shadowing through when I've completed it. To the machine, you will need to set your needle at 1/4 inch or use a 1/4 inch foot. The choice is yours. But the joy of this machine is that I can set my needle to 1/4 inch away from this edge of the presser foot by simply moving the stitch width button to a higher number, 5.4 in this case on this machine. Your stitch length will be the usual one, round about 2.4 to 2.6. Starting on one of the sides of the hexagon, you're going to add yellow to every other side, so there, there and there. 2 fabrics right sides together, underneath the presser foot. Because it's a really small length this, it will pay you before you do any stitching to cut that bit of yellow off, just about flush with the end of the hexagon. Sew all the way down, raise the presser foot and the needle, and you can cut the threads or you can just jump. Fold that back and it should run along one of the lines. You can just move the pin to hold it down. I'm going to just jump to the next one. Now, when you're doing this, I anticipate you will use thread that matches the fabric. I'm using black simply so you can see where I'm going. Again, yellow, raw edge of yellow to edge of the hexagon, following along the lines, put the presser foot there to hold it in place and cut off flush with the end of the hexagon. To the end, needle up, raise presser foot, turn it back, put a pin in it if you wish to hold it down. It's quite a good idea to every so often get up and give the whole thing a press, so that when you do a round, go and give it a press. And finally we're going to do that side, so I've missed another side out. It's every other side. And once more, needle down. Remember to cut. And then once we finish the yellow, we can do the second colour. Raise that. Oh, my bottom bobbin has obviously run out. I have now filled the bobbin. Just as a reminder for those of you who've got these top loading machines, when you put the bobbin in, have it so that the thread comes down on the left hand side. It basically says P for Peter. It's a good way of remembering it. Pop it into the slot and just get it round that little hook before you wrap it in whichever system your machine has. Drop the needle down, holding the top thread, and you should be able to bring the bottom bobbin to the top. When you've done that, simply replace the cover. Now we're good to go again. Underneath the presser foot, I'd already cut that little strip. Pop it on there and stitch down to the end. When you get to the end, we can use the second colour. Raise it up. I'm just going to cut some of these threads off because I've got dangly threads absolutely everywhere. And of course it's black, so it will show. Remove those and pop a pin in it to hold it back. Now the fabric I'm using next happens to be directional. Can you see? And I quite like these to always go in the same direction. So a top tip is what I decided to do was to employ some form of a marker. So if I use something like a quilt clip on the edge of the fabric that I was going to be using and just simply move the quilt clip down, it at least gave me some idea as to which way round to have the fabric, as you will see in just a minute. So I'm going to have, for the purpose of doing this, to have it so that the clamshells are going to go to the centre. So let's just turn it round, clamshells to the centre. Place the fabric on the top. Just check there are no pins underneath you're going to possibly stitch into, so I can pull that out of the way. The edge of this fabric is going to be lined up with the line on the quick screen. Okay, and just move that down a little bit. I know that I've got the right side of the fabric to the material. Lower your presser foot, proceed down, tuck it under there. Stop before you get to the end, trim off exactly flush with the piece of fabric underneath, i.e. the yellow in this case. And I can take that pin out when I get there. Stop when you get to the end, raise the presser foot, take the needle out, fold that back, and it will lie upon one of the lines. Move your pin, take the pin, pop it in there, stick the pin back to that. And I'm then going to continue with another strip and use my little marker so I make jolly sure I get this side to the work. I'm going to put that in so I know it's that edge I'm using. Because the first time I did this, I had those strips every which way but the right way. So you're using the edge of the strip down the quick screen triangle lines, and I'm only going to sew from here to there. Stop, trim, get to the end, mind the pin, raise the presser foot, turn it round, open it out, move the pin over, and you see, because I've got that there, I know this is the edge I'm going to be using. Having unpicked several times from my stage samples, I decided this was not a bad idea. You might have thought of something better. Or don't use directional fabric. That would be possibly the best idea. Right, trim off down the bottom. And when you get to the bottom, you will never guess what you're going to do. We're going to use the yellow. So to the bottom, raise press foot, fold it back, put a pin in it, move the pin or find another pin. There we are. I do like these flower pins because they're nice and flat. They fit underneath the presser foot if you're not careful, but at least you can see them. Right, the next piece to do will be the yellow, and the yellow will go on exactly from one end to the other. When you stitch the yellow on, trim off the excess pieces of fabric, and you basically just keep on continuing, adding a different colour every time you go round. I would give it a press in between, perhaps press it every other round, and it's going to look something like this as it gets a little bit bigger. There, I've added the turquoise on, and then you'll go on and it'll get bigger still until it resembles something like this. Each time you're going from one end to the other of the strips underneath. Fold them back and don't forget to trim off any excess fabrics. When you've got it to the size you require, before you finish off or cut anything off, I would sew round the edge with a long stitch. Now I've deliberately left one last little bit round here because it makes it so much easier to make sure you trim it off nice and accurately. So set your machine to do the longest stitch length possible, which will be take it to 5 or whatever your machine is, and I often shift the needle right over to this inner edge by moving the stitch width button, so I know that I'm going to be inside any subsequent seam. So you're going to proceed round, all like that, get to the end, and when you've done that, you can trim all the excess bits of fabric off, remove the pins, and we're good to start turning it into a mat or a block or whatever you wish. This does make an excellent little mat. And you could use something like S133, which is a very good stable stiffener. Or perhaps you might like to put some wadding underneath it. It really depends what you're going to do with it. There we are. I've nearly sewn round the edge with a long stitch just to stabilize all the fabrics. And now I'm ready to trim it off. Having sewn all the way round it, I'm going to trim off the excess quick screen to the edge of the fabrics. And I can use the lines on the little bit I've got still ready and present. There you are, I've trimmed all the way round it. Now, what am I going to do with it? Well, I could put it onto wadding, or I could have it as a stiffened mat. I'm going to use S133 for it. Now this is a thick fusible interfacing. So initially use your block as a template and cut round it on the S133. I suggest you use your rotary cutting ruler and just be a little bit careful. If you were worried about this, why not draw round your block and then cut it out afterwards. So cut yourself a piece that's pretty nearly accurate, and we're going to then press the layers together. So I've cut out my S133. Now, just as a top tip, look at it carefully. You can actually feel the difference in the two sides. The gluey side is smoother than the unglued side. And just to be double sure, I put a little mark on the unglued side, knowing I'll get it the right way up. So there we have our S133. There is my block. I've got it on the pressing mat. Now you need an iron-on cloth. Damp it first, because if you damp it, this will give it a transparent effect and you can see through what you're pressing. So lay it on top of the block. The iron needs to be set at between 2 to 3 dots on your iron, and you're going to place the iron on top and press it. You're not going to iron it, you will press it. Hold the iron there for about 15 seconds until all the layers have fused together. Having pressed it in place, allow it to cool for some time. Go and have a cup of tea, and then when you come back, you can put a backing fabric on it and bind it. Why not? You'll have an absolutely super, nice, stiff, firm mat. So that's it. That's your quick screen triangle done as a hexagon. And it's a bit like a hexagonal pineapple, isn't it? You could put lots of these together and make a quilt. You could just use one. You could, if you wanted to, change the colours. You could even, instead of alternating the colours, stay with the same colour every time you did a round of strips, and you would get a subtly different effect. So go ahead, go and get some quick screen triangle and play.